All right, we're back again to talk about week 6. We're going to preview the games, see which of the big games and how we think they're going to play out. Don't let the casuals lie to you about this week. I know we had a big blockbuster week last week in college football, but college football is always great. We're going to have another fantastic weekend this weekend. And we're going to start with Iowa State at Cincinnati. This game is potential trouble here for Iowa State. They are going to face the second best scoring offense in the Big 12. They average almost 40 points a game right now. Brendan Sorsby is an athletic quarterback. That's their biggest weapon, is his ability to run with his legs, create after plays break down. That's what Iowa State needs to focus on stopping this week. They do have the 18th best scoring defense in the country at Iowa State. I am concerned about their ability to stop Cincinnati in the red zone. That's a big key to their scoring defense so far this season, is they have stopped teams in the red zone. They're forcing field goals on 50% of drives, field goals or turnover on downs, turnovers, whatever, in the red zone. They're only scoring touchdowns on 50% of drives, Iowa State's opponents right now. And the key to that can sometimes be adding that additional head in the run game, which Brendan Sorsby does. I'm concerned that Cincinnati is going to be able to score in the red zone better than Iowa State's opponents have so far this season. I think that could spell a lot of trouble for Iowa State in this game. I think the other key stat in this game could be turnovers. Iowa State has forced a lot of turnovers this season. Cincinnati hasn't exactly been a bad turnover team. They've just are slightly down on the year turnover-wise so far this season. I think that could be a big turning point if Iowa State is going to win this game, is to force turnovers. But I am still going to take Iowa State in this game. The thing is, when it comes down to it, if this game is close in the fourth quarter, I trust Iowa State, and I don't trust UC. I know they just got a win against Kansas in a close game down the stretch in the fourth quarter, 3-point game, but I just don't trust them. I fundamentally have not trusted Cincinnati in close games while Satterfield has been the coach, and I think that could be trouble for them again. If that's something that they've really fixed going back to this Kansas game, then maybe they can get it done. But until proven otherwise, I'm going to take Iowa State in a close game over Cincinnati in a close game. I just trust Iowa State more than I trust Cincinnati in that atmosphere. Next, let's move down to the SEC in a game that is really big, even though the brand doesn't seem like it should be big, but it's Vandy at Alabama. This game clearly profiles as a shootout. I mean, Vanderbilt's offense, fantastic so far this season. They've been really explosive. They've had an efficient running game. Eli Stowers in the passing game has been electric at times, a really productive tight end for them. Alabama's offense, I mean, we saw what they did in the first half against Georgia. This has been a really efficient offense through Ty Simpson, through those electric wide receivers that they have. They can get out wide. They can do whatever they want in the passing game. Usually, they haven't really run the football, and I think that's kind of where you start to struggle to find advantages for Vanderbilt. Like, Vanderbilt's rush defense has been really, really good this season, but does Alabama even care? Like, if they stop every single rushing attempt, if Alabama rushes for 2 yards a carry in this game, does that matter to Alabama? I don't think it does. They didn't run the ball all that effectively against Georgia, and it didn't matter. The question for this Vandy defense is, can they stop the extension of Alabama's running game? Can they stop those screens to those receivers on the outside, those little bubble screens? That is Alabama's running game. And the reason teams haven't been able to stop that is that they have to respect the downfield passing attack that Alabama has, because you know Ryan Williams can take the top off this defense, off of any defense. And so they haven't been able to play physical at the line of scrimmage on those outside screens. And so those screens have continued to be effective. Can Vanderbilt slow down the screen game without sacrificing the explosive play? I think that's going to be a really big key in this game. The other question and this is where Vanderbilt's advantage might be, is that they've had a really good defensive line. They've got 14 sacks on the year. So can Miles Capers and this Vanderbilt defensive line pressure Ty Simpson? In the Georgia game, Ty Simpson didn't get pressured. I mean, I think he had one sack in the game and maybe 3 or 4 pressures at all. And in Georgia sent the house, not necessarily the house, but they blitzed a lot. Georgia just could not find a way to get pressure on Ty Simpson. And if that's something that continues, if Alabama's offensive line can continue to provide a clean pocket for Ty Simpson, then Vanderbilt is going to have a tough time slowing this passing attack down. So I think that's a key matchup in this game is this Vanderbilt defensive line in the passing game. Can they create pressure on Ty Simpson? On the other side of the football, you need Eli Stowers to be big on third down if you're Vanderbilt in this game, and you need the explosive running game to really come through. They've got to have explosive plays in this game. I know they like to kind of trickle the ball downfield at times and just dink and dunk and push their way slowly up the field. I think you're going to need some explosives in this game. I think this is what happened to Georgia at times is their running game was good, but it just takes 1 or 2 plays that get you off schedule, and that can totally mess up a drive. So I think Vanderbilt can't rely consistently on these long drives that end in touchdowns. I think they're going to have to get some explosive plays in this game. And where are those explosive plays going to come from? That is a major question. Now, we saw what the athleticism of Tommy Castellanos could do for Florida State against this Alabama defense. Can Diego Pavia do it again? I mean, we saw what he did to this Alabama defense last year as well. So I think that's another pivotal matchup in this game is can Vanderbilt find the explosive plays, and can Diego Pavia's legs create plays when the play breaks down? Can they still find a way to have positive yardage in those situations? Ultimately, I really like this Alabama team. I like what they can do. I just don't see anyone slowing down this passing attack, at least not Vanderbilt in this game. And I'm going to trust Alabama, especially at home, to get this done. But I expect a really fun game. And if Vanderbilt can make this a shootout, can make this a game, anything can happen in those types of games. So I don't think this is a game where Vanderbilt is going to be outclassed. So when it comes down to it, if this game is close late, I trust Alabama's passing game more than I trust Vanderbilt's ability to score late in this game. I think that's the key for me in this game is Ty Simpson and this Alabama passing attack. I think they'll get it done. But we'll see. We're going to move to the ACC, and we're going to start with Virginia at Louisville. And this is another game that profiles as a shootout. Virginia has not been good defensively, but man, have they been able to run the football like mad behind that experienced offensive line. Louisville is just a program fundamentally. They score the ball a lot. Jeff Brom is one of the best offensive minds in the country. I trust Louisville's offense to find ways to score points. Miller Moss is a name you haven't heard in a while since he was benched last season at USC. So this is a big game for Louisville to kind of introduce themselves into the conversation, to the country, to the rest of the ACC as a potential contender here. I think the biggest question is how much can they slow down this Virginia rushing attack? Can they put the ball in the hands of Chandler Morris and force them to throw the football more? And the other question, as is the question, can be the question in many games, is turnovers. Virginia has struggled with turnovers at times. They struggle with turnovers in their loss to NC State. And they struggle with turnovers with 3 interceptions against Florida State last week. So this can be a problem for Virginia, and Louisville has forced 6 interceptions already this season. So if Virginia gets in turnover trouble, I think this is that leads Louisville to a victory. But I'm not sure if they can slow down the rushing attack. The other question is sometimes Virginia doesn't push the running game as much as they should. I think that was another problem in that NC State game is they didn't force the ball at um, NC State's throat when they should have, and they threw the ball more than they should have. And I think that will be a question: is are they disciplined enough to stick to the running game when it's working? But I don't know. On the road, I think that's a tough task for Virginia. I'm going to take Virginia, I think, in this game just on the fact that I really love their running game. I think the question is, again, if this is really close late and they're down late, how much downfield passing attack can Virginia actually do without the threat of play action, without the threat of their running game? Can they lead a 2-minute drill? I have a real question about that for Virginia. So I think they need to hop on this lead early. They need to get a lead early so that they can continue to rely on a running game and not get in a passing game, because that would be detrimental to this Virginia team. You don't want to be in a game that's on. You don't want to put this game on Chandler Morris's shoulders. You want this game to be on the shoulders of your offensive line, on the shoulders of that running game. So do not put this game on Chandler Morris. If they do, I think Louisville will walk away with it. I think they're going to be able to lean on that running game, to lean on that offensive line, and I think they'll get it done based on that. Then we're going to stick in the ACC. We're going to talk about the biggest probably matchup of the week here at Miami at Florida State. And I think this is where we're really going to find out a lot about Miami's defense. I think they were tested in that Notre Dame game first week of the season, but how much of that was CJ Carr having first game jitters or just first game struggles? We're going to really see what this Miami defense is capable of. Florida State walks in with the best scoring offense in the country right now. And, I mean, we've seen what Tommy Castellanos can do on his ceiling in that Alabama game. And even in his worst game against Virginia, they still put up a whole heck of a lot of points. So I trust this Florida State team and what they're capable of on offense. Now, I don't trust this Florida State defense at all. And the question, and what Miami is going to do is they're going to lean on their line of scrimmage talent. They have a line of scrimmage talent advantage, certainly on the offensive side of the football. They love what they have in the offensive line, and they're going to really lean on that in this game. How big of an advantage do they have? Can they really force the running game? And, I mean, we know what Malachi Toney can be in the passing game. But if Florida State can force this game, again, if this is a game that can be put on the shoulders of Carson Beck, if Florida State's offense can really get going, and I mean Deuce Robinson is a dude, Florida State's offense can hum when it's really humming. I mean, that's a tautology, but whatever. You understand my point. When Florida State's offense gets going, it's really, really hard to stop. And they were able to contain the legs of DJ Lagway against Florida. Can they do the same to Tommy Castellanos in this game? I think that will be a major component of this game. This is really a line of scrimmage game. If Miami can impose their will on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, if they can take what advantage they should have at the line of scrimmage, they are better than Florida State on both sides of the ball. But if that Florida State defensive line can contain Castellanos, can contain all of that misdirection and motion and trickery that they try to do sometimes, if they can stay disciplined on that side of the football and force Castellanos to throw the ball downfield and throw the ball accurately, and especially if they can force him to throw to a target that's not Deuce Robinson, then this Miami defense can control this game. And with the running game in their offensive line, I think they're going to try to control the game on that side of the ball as well. And that will be could be a real advantage for Miami if the opposite happens. If Florida State can force this game to be a shootout, that's how Florida State wins this game. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think Miami's defense is going to step up in this game, and I think Miami is going to truly announce themselves as a championship contender by winning this game, and winning this game in a fashion defensively that really shows that they're a multifaceted team. I think this is not just This is not a flashy Miami offense that we had last year with no defense. I think this is a defense that is good enough to pair with an offensive line and a potentially explosive passing attack at times. So I think this is a Miami team that's going to get this done. They're going to walk away with the win. Now we're going to talk about a couple of games that are upset alert potential, and we're going to start with Texas at Florida. Now, this game, contrary to the theme of this week, which is a lot of games are profiling as shootouts, this is a game that profiles as a meat grinder. Both offenses have really, really struggled. Both quarterbacks have really struggled. And both defenses are pretty damn good. Like, even in games that they're not winning, for Florida, like they've slowed a lot of teams down. It's just their offense has been so garbage that they still lose those games. And Texas, Arch's struggles have been well documented throughout the beginning of this season. I think the question for both of these teams are coming off a bye. So what happened in that bye week is gonna determine who wins this game. Did somebody figure something out? I mean, I know we saw Texas put up some points, Arch have some good moments against Sam Houston State, but it's Sam Houston State. You're not playing in the swamp. You're not playing a Florida team that's desperate for anything good to happen to them. So the question is how much progress did these offenses make in the bye week? I mean, you get 2 weeks to practice. You get 2 weeks to game plan for this. If those offenses stepped up and figured something out in those bye weeks, then whichever one did is going to win this game. Fundamentally, I trust Texas more in this game, but I'm going to put 8 out of 10 on this. This is a really awkward game for Texas. It would be a look-ahead spot with the Red River Shootout coming up next week, but they did get a bye, so I think that kind of negates that trap nature of this game. But still concerned because in a defensive game, in a defensive struggle fest, one play is all it really takes. One big explosive play and can turn a game like this on its head. And so that's why this is going to be an 8 out of 10 for me. We're going to stick in the SEC and talk about Mississippi State at A&M. I mean, we saw Mississippi State can push these teams, these top tier teams in the SEC. Their offense is really good. Again, this is an A&M defense that I don't really trust. I know they shut down Auburn last week, but it's Auburn. I don't trust Auburn's offense. Auburn's offense is hot garbage. So I want to give Auburn A&M credit for finding a way to win that game, but I don't give them a ton of credit for shutting down an Auburn team that is hot ass on defense, or on offense rather. So can A&M slow down this rushing attack from Mississippi State? That's a major question in this game. But if A&M's offense is cooking, I don't think this game's not going to be close. So the question is, Mississippi State has got to limit explosive plays. They've got to force A&M to work the ball all the way downfield and hope that they can settle for field goals or they'll stumble at some point. And you can't allow 40-play touchdown drives or 40-yard touchdown plays. If you're Mississippi State, you've got to force them into long drives, and then you have to have the explosives on the other end. But overall, I like what A&M is doing right now. I am going to put a 5 out of 10 on this, but keep an eye on it. I think A&M is going to get it done, but explosive plays from Mississippi State and limiting the explosives. I think explosive plays is the determining factor in this game. Who has them, that will determine who wins this game. But, we'll see. Should be a great weekend of college football. Let me know who you think are going to win all these games. Which games do you disagree with my take on in the comments? Drop a like. And thank you for watching. And I will see you next week.